All right, let's talk about something that haunts every athlete, performer, and, let's be honest, probably all of us at some point. Why do we sometimes fail when it matters the most? We're going to unpack the science behind choking under pressure and figure out what is really going on inside our heads. I mean, seriously, think about it. You've got the star player missing a penalty kick with seconds left on the clock. The professional golfer who just shanks a simple putt that would have won the whole tournament. These people have world-class skills, so what gives? What is happening in that moment? That's the exact mystery we're diving into today. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of why we choke, we first have to get a crystal clear picture of what's happening inside our minds and our bodies. And it all really starts with three key ideas. So first up, we have this thing called arousal. Now, don't get thrown by the word. Just think of it as your body's energy dial. It's that physical and mental state of being alert that gets you ready for action. It's your internal engine revving up before a big race. It's just pure neutral energy. But here's where things get interesting. When we start to put a label on that energy, that's where anxiety walks in the door. So while arousal is just the engine revving, anxiety is specifically a negative feeling. It's that worry, that pit in your stomach when your brain starts screaming, "What if I mess this up?" And that, of course, leads us directly to stress. You can think of stress as the tipping point. It's that moment when you look at the challenge ahead, the competition, the expectations, all of it, and you just feel like you don't have what it takes to handle it. It's that feeling of being totally, completely overwhelmed. So let's just quickly put these all side by side. Arousal is your simple readiness to perform. Anxiety is when you add worry and fear into the mix. And stress, that's when you feel overloaded, like the pressure is just way too much. They're all connected for sure, but knowing the difference is absolutely crucial. So where does all this pressure even come from? Well, it can be personal, right? Like how confident you're feeling that day. It can be situational. I mean, a championship game is going to feel a little different than a Tuesday practice. And it can even be your environment. Performing in front of a massive roaring crowd is a whole different ballgame than an empty stadium. Okay, we've got the lingo down, but how does all this energy and worry actually connect to performance? How does it affect what we actually do? Well, this is where we find that razor-thin line between succeeding and, well, failing. So, imagine a big curve, kind of like a hill. Let's start at the very bottom. If your arousal is super low, you're bored, you're not focused, you're just not up for it, your performance is going to be pretty bad. You just don't have the energy to react and do what you need to do. But as that energy level starts to climb, you begin to hit the sweet spot. This is the top of that hill. This is the zone. It's where you feel energized, laser focused, totally in control. At this perfect optimal level of arousal, that's where athletes have their absolute best performances. But you know what they say about too much of a good thing, right? What happens if you go past that sweet spot? Well, all that arousal becomes your enemy. That energy turns into anxiety, your muscles get tight, your focus gets all messed up, and your performance starts to drop, sometimes really, really fast. This is the classic inverted U hypothesis. Now, that inverted U model sounds pretty solid, but it's missing a huge piece of the puzzle. What happens when it's not just physical butterflies, but when your mind is just consumed by worry and that deep fear of failure? And this is where it gets crazy. Check this out. If you have low worry, low cognitive anxiety, and you get over-aroused, you'll see that gradual dip in performance just like the inverted U predicts. But when that mental worry is high, over-arousal doesn't cause a dip, it causes a cliff. Your performance doesn't just decline, it suddenly and catastrophically collapses. That is the choke. Okay, that sounds absolutely terrifying, I know. But here is the really good news. This isn't some life sentence. Athletes and performers can absolutely learn to manage this pressure. So let's open up the toolkit for mastering your own inner game. The whole approach really boils down to three clear, actionable steps. First, you've got to manage the physical stuff. Then, you need to regain control of your thoughts. And finally, you build unshakable confidence through rehearsal. So step one, calm the body. First things first, you've got to get your body to chill out. Athletes use really simple but incredibly powerful techniques for this. Deep, slow breathing can immediately bring down a racing heart. And something called progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense up a muscle group and then just let it go, is an amazing way to release all that physical tension. All right, once your body's a little calmer, it's time to tackle the mind. This is all about fighting back against that negative voice in your head. Using positive self-talk isn't just about saying nice things. It's about actively redirecting your focus. Another great trick is setting tiny, manageable goals. It can turn a huge, overwhelming event into just a simple series of steps you know you can achieve. And the last piece, it's all about rehearsal. Visualization is basically practice for your brain. By mentally seeing yourself succeed over and over, you build confidence and it feels familiar. And creating a super consistent pre-performance routine that builds a little bubble of control and calm that you can take with you into any high-pressure situation. But here's the thing, and this is so important. There's no one-size-fits-all solution here. The eyes-off theory proves that everyone is different. Some athletes need to be totally calm to perform their best. Others actually need to be a little bit hyped up, a little anxious to hit their peak. The goal isn't to get rid of pressure, it's to find your perfect personal zone. So, whether you're stepping onto a field, into a boardroom, or up on a stage, the rules are the same. It's all about understanding how you respond to pressure and making sure you have the right tools ready to go. So the next time the pressure's on for you, what's going to be in your mental toolkit?